Welcome guys, and in today's video we're going to be checking out a new machine, the Bishop Wand Shader. So if you guys are ready to check that out, then let's go! So welcome and hello and welcome. This is the new machine, the Bishop Wand Shader. Now, if you know and you follow the channel, you know that I've been using the CNC Q2. And I have nothing negative really to say about that. You guys saw my last video where we talked about it. I really liked the direct drive setup. I liked a lot of the size. So I went looking for a machine that had similarities, but a better quality, built by people I can support, things like that. Not to take anything away from the CNC, but again, the Bishop Wand is where I want to go from here. I want to try this machine out, maybe see how it compares to some other machines, and just keep educating myself as I move along and sharing that with you guys. We're going to open this up together, see what's in it, get a first impression on it, and then we'll move on from there. And today we'll be using the Benchmade knife with the sweet EGA on it. Represent. Moving on, let's open it up. So we got the plastic off and looks like we slide it out this way. Ooh, that's snazzy. And by the looks of it, it just pops open there. Oh, you have your wand pamphlet, which essentially gives you the features, how big it is, its diameter, things like that. All those basic things that you want to know are right here. This is something really cool. I love that this card is in here because on the back, the person is signing off for each step. Motor built by, who soldered it, everything like that. There's a chain, there's a trail, who did what, who's responsible for what, and that's the sign of a pretty solid company. So I'm gonna take all these things, slide them in the pamphlet here, set it off to the side, because we have to check out more. We need to see this machine. Come on, let's go. I'm impatient. Ooh, okay. And if I haven't said it already, Bishop didn't send this to me, nothing like that. I took the time and researched what type of machine that I wanted to use and how it compared to the machines I'm used to and what I realized I like. I like a direct drive. So I was looking for something of the next step up in quality, and that's why I ended up going with the Bishop. And after some looking through their different setups, whether it be the shader, the packer, or the liner, it just made sense that the shader would work best for me, and if I really like this, I might look into getting the packer in the future. So here is the box it comes in, outside of the other box it comes in. I guess this is the travel box or whatnot. Nice attention to detail. I love this up here. It's like this kind of like rubbery feel. Whatever, it's nice. Open it up. Holy cow. Wow. This thing's smaller than the Q2. Holy cow. Wow. I didn't expect this. I knew it was going to be small, but dear Lord, it's tiny. Which is perfect. Oh, that sounds bad. But that's what I like. I like the machines to be smaller and more compact. And this is definitely that. The weight is like, feels good. It's nice and light. I'm just blown away by the size again. I don't know why. I don't know. That is nice. Wow. Ooh, that's really smooth. So right now I don't feel the clicks like I'm used to, the click, 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 but I don't think that's really that big of an issue. This is so smooth, so smooth. So there is the machine, all tiny and awesome. Over here, like they said, here is the grease. Hold on to this. I'm sure we're gonna need it later on as we go. And that here is the clip cord they send with it. Now, if you recall back to our CNC machines, again, not hating on them, but this is the way a clip cord should probably look from a manufacturer. Now, I know some people may not care how this compares to another machine or whatnot, but I know I do, and the people who've been following this channel, I'm sure you were curious as well. How does this compare to, well, the machine we use often here and some of the other machines? So we're gonna do that. Here's the Bishop Wand Shader, and here is the Q2. Well. Huh. They are essentially the exact same height. Now what throws me off is when I'm looking at this machine, the machine comes to here in my brain, and then here's the, the connection, the RCA connection, where here they have it kind of covered as they go, so this feels slightly taller. But wow, as far as weight goes, very, very, very similar. I don't necessarily want to compare these two 100% because they're in different brackets. You can pick this machine up for under $200, where you can't touch this one for under $600. Now, there are things internally that are different. The motors are both Fall Harbor motors, but you have quality in your motors, where one says it's a little more fine-tuned, where one says that it's been tested well, and it is a premium, higher-end motor. So, nonetheless, they are packing the same brand of motor, which is really good if you're looking, or if you own the CNC Q2. It's made in the US of A and has a 1-year warranty, which is cool with me. Again, we can pull in all the other machines. Here's the Hawk pen. It would be a little bit taller. I had to grind some off there. Here is the X1, and again, some other randoms. So these three are about the same height, and you see the difference there. I run my machine with a wireless power supply, and I'm currently running the Critical wireless power supply. So I'm going to click that onto the top here. Clicks on really nicely, feels good. The weight is what I'm used to. Let's hear it run. Ooh. That's purring. Okay, so it's at 8.4. This machine, I believe, prefers to be ran around closer to 9 volts most of the time. So we'll just kick it up to 9 to hear how it sounds. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is incredibly soft. Like, the vibrations in this are minimal. So I'm going to turn that off, and we're going to compare it to the CNC Q2. Now, also keep in mind, this Bishop 1 is brand new. I mean, we just opened it. This has been being used for about a year now. So, not to say that it's going to sound horrible because it's been used, but I just want to keep that in mind. So, here's this one on, and we'll kick it up to 9 volts. Here's how that sounds. Here's how this sounds. There is a definite difference in the sound of these two machines. The one definitely sounds like it's running a bit smoother, to say the least. Not that the Q2 sounds horrible. So there the machine is with needles in it, running, still very smooth. Your adjustment is really, really smooth here. We can go further in, further out. The only concern I may have, and again, I've not used it, I'm just by looking at it and messing with it right now as you see it, is that maybe, without there being any clicks or any solid tension, there's not a ton of tension on this rotation here. So maybe I could see your needles getting pushed in or out a little bit depending on how you move it. Maybe if you go back here and you go to move your battery or your something back here and you accidentally turn it, you might turn your needle adjustment here on your grip. But again, it's not a big deal. If you're paying attention and you're not fiddling around, then you shouldn't have any problems with that. And again, I haven't even tattooed with this yet, so I can't even say it's a real problem. Just from looking at it, I just want to compare my initial thoughts with my thoughts later and have it all documented so you guys can see how right or incredibly wrong I am. Okay, we're just going to go over top of some old lines here and this old rows. You guys know we don't care about any of this stuff. A little shaky here and there. So far it feels really nice. I'm running at 8.5 volts. I forgot to shave this area, so we'll see how that affects it. I think the more I move it around, the better it feels, but it feels already kind of like a refined version of the Q2, like just a really smooth, and it kind of feels like it might hit even a little harder. Yeah, definitely getting more comfortable the more I'm messing with it here. And I guess that's to be expected anytime you use something new, especially a new machine in general. The first couple lines felt a little different. The machine had more power than I was expecting. But then as I got a little bit more comfortable with it, the other few lines kind of felt better, went smoother, looked better, the whole 9 yards. So I'm really looking forward to testing this out on somebody else's skin, because this hurts. And if you guys are interested in how I wrap this machine, let me know in the comments below if you want to see a video on that. It's real simple. It keeps both sides completely separate, so you can turn this and there's no jamming at all. So again, let me know in the comments. So like you saw in the video, after the first couple lines, things started to get a little easier. I started to get a feel for the machine. As far as the weight and how it moves in your hand, it felt no real difference at all to me compared to the Q2. It definitely felt a little bit smoother. It sounded smoother like we heard the other day. And I know you guys saw a whole bunch of lining, whether I was lining myself or lining the barbed wire around the guy's arm. Now, what I liked about that when it came to testing out that machine is, as you know, every part of the arm or the body takes ink differently. Every single person takes ink differently, but specific parts of the body are a little more difficult to tattoo at times. So I was able to literally run this all the way up the arm, and it ran great. Now, what I said before about the adjustable grip here and how I thought, well, it might be annoying, it might be something I'm not familiar with, I might not like it, and as usual, I was incredibly wrong. It didn't bother me at all. It didn't get in the way. I, for some reason, thought that because it was able to move a little freely that it was going to be an issue. It wasn't. In fact, I felt like I was able to really fine-tune the exact depth I wanted because there was no clicks. I could just get it right where I wanted it. So no big deal at all there. In fact, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed tattooing with this machine. I kind of felt like I would, but I really, really did. Again, it's a really, really smooth machine. Now, like I said before, both this and the Q2 both have Fauhaber motors in them, but this one was hand chosen specifically for this machine. Now, the same motor is used in a couple of other Bishop machines, but nonetheless, when they were deciding to make this shader, they went with that specific motor, and I can see why. It's very smooth. They do recommend between 8 to 10 volts, which is perfect. That's right in there where I like to run. So again, the switch from Q2 to one shader, flawless. It's just a really nicely refined version of the Q2. In fact, they're probably flopped. The Q2 is a copy of this machine in a lot of ways, but they just didn't get it quite right. But again, it's in a different bracket. You know, it's not of the same caliber because you're also paying a different price. But I am very happy with my purchase. I also did some shading. I'm sorry I did not get that on camera. Shading was really nice, as to be expected. Soft shadings went in softly. I could pack color in there. I could pack my blacks. I could get solid saturation. The shades would go in real nice and smooth. It felt very natural. It just did the job a little bit better. Now, if you went from the Q2 to this, is it going to change your world and make all your work amazing? Of course not. That's not how these things work. But if you're using that machine, you really, really like it, and there comes a time you're ready to step up, but you're not sure what to step up to, because you're very much used to that machine, this would be that machine. And that's why I went with it, and I'm very happy with my purchase. And we're going to get to see how it runs from here on out until maybe another year goes by and we try something different. Who knows? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell to get notifications when we post. And guys, that's about all I have to say about the Bishop Wand Shader. And until next time, peace.